Not too happy today. I just appeared before a parliamentary committee last night, and I want to tell you what happened because it was really wrong how I was treated. And look, I am not a victim. I can handle myself, but I think my experience is something that we should keep in mind when the Trudeau federal government lectures people about creating division.
Oh, yeah.
Gang, what's up? Aaron, Canadian Looney. We have an exciting piece to watch here. It is still permanent. You're going to hear Trudeau's name, but they shut down Parliament like a week after this committee took place. Nothing has happened in the House of Commons since. I'm really worried about free speech in Canada. I see what's going on around the globe. Like, they're having trouble in New Zealand, they're having trouble Australia, all of the European Union with censorship bills and overstepping governments. They're trying to keep people in the UK from hanging the Union Jack. Christine Van Guyen here is definitely worth a watch. Check out her channel. It's in the description. Instead of having her tell you what happened, we're going to show you. We're going to open it up with a round with Jamil Javani, but then we're going to see MP Tula Mohammed, and he is a mess. He's another one of these problem children, spoiled woke liberals that you won't be able to stomach. He goes so hard and asks very inappropriate questions. We're going to open it up here with Jamil Javani. That'll be fun. But just wait until you see this liberal. What a gong show. Let's take a look.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
We'll start with the Conservative Party. Mr. Javani, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, certainly this is a very important topic, and I appreciate the witnesses for being here. I do have some questions for Ms. Van Guyen, who I think gave an excellent set of opening remarks. And Ms. Van Guyen, I'd like to speak with you in particular about Justin Trudeau's censorship agenda, which has been implemented by the Liberal Party, certainly with help from the NDP. And when we talk about the censorship agenda, we're talking about primarily two pieces of legislation, Bill C-11 and C-18. Ms. Van Guyen, I'm sure you're familiar with them, but just for the sake of being on the same page, Bill C-11, of course, refers to the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, and the federal bureaucracy gaining more control over what Canadians can access on streaming platforms online. Bill C-18, of course, refers to Justin Trudeau and the federal bureaucracy having more control over the news that Canadians can see, which is limited access that Canadians have to news on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So I'd like to start with just asking Ms. Van Guyen, do you share the concerns of many Canadians who are worried about Justin Trudeau's censorship agenda and Bill C-11 and C-18?
I would add to that list Bill C-63, which has the potential to be one of the most censorious pieces of legislation that I've seen in a really long time. C-63, the Online Harms Act, would increase penalties for criminalized speech and hate-motivated crimes to life in prison, which part of the concern around that is using these heightened penalties to overcharge criminal defendants and create pressure for plea deals for lower level offenses when there is an argument that the Crown might make that there is a hate element. Even if it's not present, it can be charged, and this overcharging leads to pressure to plead out. Another concern we have about C-63 is that it would allow for someone who fears a future hate crime speech, that they can request a judge to put conditions on the would-be speaker, things like an ankle monitor or even imprisonment. And this is for future speech that has not yet taken place. This is incredibly chilling. C-63 would also create a civil mechanism for people to complain about speech to the Human Rights Commission. It's a return of Section 13 of the Canada Human Rights Act, which was rightly repealed for dragging before the Commission journalists and members of the clergy. There is no cost to bringing a complaint, but there's great cost to the complained about. And we have seen human rights tribunals bring before them comedians. That's in a Quebec context. So giving this power to these commissions will chill expression. I did not have time in my 5 minutes to mention C63, and I understand that there is a separate committee hearing that will address that, but I wanted to put on the record our serious concern about that. With respect to the Online News Act and the Online Streaming Act, while perhaps not censorship in the most classic form, I do share the concerns of millions of Canadians who have lost access to news as a result of the Online News Act. I share the concerns of a lot of academics and Canadian content creators about the regulation of user-generated content on social media platforms like YouTube. I'm a YouTube creator myself. I have one of the largest, I think probably the largest YouTube channel about Canadian constitutional law, perhaps niche.
If I could just ask
and it will censor that.
Ms. Van Guyn, if I could just ask a follow-up to that, because the Trudeau Liberals very much like to misrepresent their censorship agenda as being solely focused on big corporations. But as you noted, it does include...
Mr. Chair, well, I do want to hear Mr. Giovanni's question. He's making an assertion as to what our intention is, which I think is you have ruled before.
Well, you didn't let me finish
reasonable.
the question, so you're getting ahead of yourself.
Didn't even need to get
I know
there.
you're
You
an eager
already said
guy. I know you're an eager guy. So if I could just ask the question to Ms. Van Guyn, you mentioned that user-generated content is included in Justin Trudeau's censorship agenda, which law professor Michael Geist has detailed in a series of blogs explaining that it is not just a matter of focusing on corporations. What is the importance of this censorship agenda, including user-generated content?
A short answer of 20 seconds, please.
The effect is that it puts the government putting its thumb on the scale of what content Canadians see, and that in itself is inherently censorious.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Van Guyn and Mr. Giovanni. We'll move to the Liberals now for minutes. Mr. Noor Mohammed from the Liberal Party, 5 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My questions are for, I want to start by, first of all, thanking all of the witnesses for being here. And I'd like to start by asking Ms. Van Guyn, did I get your name correctly? Because people get my name wrong all the time. I must make sure I get it right. Is it Van Gayn or Van Guyn?
Share your issue. It's Van Guyn. Like
Van Guyn. Perfect. Thank you. I just want to, if you could just take a moment to clarify for me something that I want to make sure I heard correctly. When you were talking about Bill C-63, did you say that we were too tough, the law was too tough on hate speech?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think that the issue is with statutizing the definition, which is an inherently subjective definition. I think that there's an issue with the ability to add a new penalty when there's another offense committed to basically overcharge defendants.
Got it. Okay, so
I can give
so
you.
no, that's fine. So I guess what I want to dig into is what would you say to members of the Jewish community or the Muslim community who right now who are seeing incredible spikes in anti-Semitism and Islamophobia that is resulting in violent physical assaults on people and institutions? The argument many of them make is that hate speech leads to these things, these types of actions. Would you agree with that?
So violence is, of course, criminalized already, and I think that there's an issue with all kinds of things like bail conditions that repeat violent offenders are not actually put in prison. So please criminalize violence. Put people who commit violent acts.
No, but my question is, do you believe that there is a correlation between incitement and hate speech and people's responses, or do you think that people act independent of those two things?
So incitement to violence is also criminalized, and we take no issue with incitement to violence.
Okay. So let's just, I appreciate very much you speaking about the importance of freedom. Do you believe in freedom of expression as being beyond just words?
Of course.
Okay. So do you think that a woman should be able to wear a niqab?
Of course I do.
Do you think that it was inappropriate for the Conservative government to put forward, in the last time that Stephen Harper was Prime Minister, do you think it was inappropriate for them to put forward a niqab ban on women?
I don't have a comment on that. I'm not familiar.
No, but I'm not asking you. So, okay. So you're not familiar with the proposed niqab ban?
I do not think that government should ban religious clothing.
So you just to confirm, you do not think that government should ever ban religious clothing, correct?
I do not think they should.
Okay.
The Quebec government is doing that now.
Do you believe in a woman's right to choose?
Of course I do.
Do you think that is it of
To choose how to access healthcare, you mean? Like to choose
whether or not she can get an abortion?
Yes. That's my personal viewpoint.
Fantastic.
I do believe
Does it concern you? Does it concern you that conservative governments in certain provinces, and does it concern you that members of the Conservative Party are seeking to legislate eliminating or taking away a woman's right to choose?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I'm asking you specifically if a conservative.
We're talking about abortion right now.
I'm asking you that because I'm asking you if you believe in that freedom.
What the connection is.
I'm asking you if you
Mr.
believe
Speaker,
in that
point of order
freedom.
here. What's the relevance to this?
Point of order.
Expression. Freedom of expression. Expression takes different forms. Well, I've asked the question, and as you well
Yeah,
know,
but
I'm
you're
just asking.
pounding her now. That's the point.
Oh, now you're concerned. Okay, great. Okay, let's.
I don't feel hounded. I just don't understand.
Okay, let me
I
ask
really
the
don't
question
understand
differently.
I
Do you?
believe people have the right to express their views on abortion?
Okay. Do you believe that people have the right to legislate whether or not a woman has the right to choose?
I mean, now you're talking about sort of parliamentary sovereignty issues, which are well beyond the scope of. I mean, Parliament can legislate on all kinds of things, and then they're put in check by the Supreme Court. I really don't.
Okay. So.
view legislation as like Parliament is sovereign.
So if Parliament decided, so if Parliament decided to do certain things and pass certain laws, then that would be sovereign. And that would be the law, and that's what we should all adhere to, and there should be no opposition. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm a little confused by the line of questioning. Parliament can legislate. Legislation is subject to our Constitution, which can then be reviewed by the court.
So we can get more into this later. Are you concerned, or were you concerned when the former premier of New Brunswick, who has recently transitioned into being the former premier and Premier Moe in Nova Scotia, are trying to put restrictions on a child's right to use the pronouns that they want to use?
That's an issue that we haven't taken a position on at the CCF.
I'm asking you your opinion, though. I'm asking you your opinion.
I'm here speaking as a representative of an organization. I'm not going to give you my opinion on that particular issue, which is a live issue.
Okay, and my final question to you.
You're at 5:10, so I got to move on.
As a European, I am a European,
European.
actually.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh.
Irish citizen. Yeah. So there you
welcome.
go.
Welcome.
Speaking as a European.
WTF.
How many kids did you molest with Jeffrey Epstein?
More than just elbows.
And as the most European of the non-European countries.
Being aware of what potential conflicts of interest you
What
sought
possible
to avoid.
conflict would you have, Stephanie? Stephanie, I'm complying with the rules. I'm complying with the rules in advance.
These are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations, you're spending more money on taxes than on food, clothing, and shelter combined.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
All right, gang, thank you all very much for watching. Aaron, Canadian Looney, like, share, subscribe. Smash that subscribe. We're trying to grow this thing. Canadian Federal Politics. Get yours right here. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.